Okay, so we're good to go this morning. I want to say hi to everybody, and I want to say thank you for everyone's time for tuning in to the official releasing of STM. What is STM? Okay, we're going to tell you the initials of that. You probably already know it already, but I want you guys to get a moment to clear their mind first. Okay, we just wanted to clear the mind, try to see if you can accept or understand, or see if you can just be open to some new ideas. Okay, at the end of the day, I want to be able to share this methodology with you guys and your friends. Why? Because it works, so that it helps you guys perform better. Okay, because it's helped me a lot. I researched it, and we found a solution to some problems. What were the problems for tennis players? Okay, this broadcast is mainly for tennis players, but really also can be applied to other areas of life as well. But today we're talking about tennis. Again, if you've got any questions, be sure to type it up there, type it in, because my friend Martin, today, I'm so lucky to have him here today. He's a supporter of mine, and so he'll see the questions and we'll answer it right on the spot for you. So you don't be shy, type it in. No one will know you typed it, okay? I won't call you out, but we'll answer it straight away in the question section. So the problems we're trying to solve with this was, on YouTube nowadays, you see everybody going faster and faster and faster and faster. Now, I'm a strength and conditioning coach as well, but let's talk about, you see when they're doing it fast, watch carefully. At the end, they're not really doing the things they want to be really doing, like they want to be doing to their standard. We have a good saying that you want to be doing it to the right standard. When you increase the speed, you still want to maintain your technique. I think that's correct, right? So, correct me if I'm wrong. So the second problem we want to solve is what happens if it rains. Tennis players, not every tennis player has the luxury of an indoor court. Like today, I have to do this broadcast indoors. It was supposed to be outdoors, but it was raining today, so unfortunately for us. But definitely, our demonstration will show you that you can do stuff, training, serious training when it's indoors and it's raining, right? So, are we speaking the same language? So, have any tennis players, I mean, we're all experienced players, two types. Number one, we're going to use our grip today, and the V is here. So there's two players that listen to that information. So your V is here, but the other player's V is somewhere else. So we wanted to find a way so that players can speak the same language. We don't call our grips names. We call our grips with the numbers according to the location of your hand. So all players will be the same. It's like, if the player is like, if we're talking the same language for STM, I'm on grip number 1, or I'm on grip number 2. So we all know exactly what we're talking about instantly. And for players and coaches as well, for coaches that can communicate with the players, hey, today we want you to do your homework. That comes later. Your homework, and I want you to be using your grip number 2. So they know exactly what they want. So, and also we have some friends who in countries that don't really speak English or read English, but it doesn't matter because it's nothing to do with language. Because players, people usually learn in 3 ways. Skill acquisition is visual, and then listen, and then feel. Mostly they copy. So in the book, there's a huge visual learning aspect in there. So of course there's definitely a lot of research and a lot of writing, but if for friends that don't really read, don't like to read, I understand. Even for English speakers, they don't like to read. It's okay, because there's a lot of visual material in the book. So that was another problem we wanted to solve. So players, are they really really doing what they want to do? Okay. Sometimes when they play without the ball, they do the motion, and then now they go and play, and then they look like something else. Okay, is this what they want to do? If that's what they want to do, that's fine. But if they're demoing, and then they go and play, and then they look like something else, especially on the serve, we wanted to find a way to help players actually be able to do what they want to do. Through practice, they'll be able to do it with the ball at high speed. Cool? Okay, players need to relax. a lot of injuries occur when players are stressed. You shouldn't need to be stressed when you're playing tennis. Tennis is a very gentleman, just relaxing sport. You go there to have fun. Yeah, you're not going there to have a gym workout. You want to go to gym workout, you go to the gym. So we found a way to help the players relax in a systematic way. So homework is another thing. Homework for coaches to give to players, or players to give to themselves, or just communicating with their friend. This book, it provides a way to do that. Okay? And more importantly, I'd like to say to everybody, please open the mind for a few minutes of your time. I know you've got to brush aside some old theories maybe, but it's okay. We're not saying anybody's wrong. Okay? We're just sharing a new system that we found that has been helpful. Cool? So if you've got any questions, type it in. Martin, my friend, will go ahead and we'll answer it in that section. Cool? With the question section. So what is STM? Okay? STM is something that we all do it anyway. I've observed that every tennis player does it, but there's never been a system really to do it, to systematically follow our system. Doesn't mean anybody's wrong, just try to follow it, okay? And it's called shadow tennis. Now, shadow tennis, that's one. Another aspect is everybody wants to move faster, but we move slower. Cool? So there's a few elements add together so that becomes our system, okay? So shadow tennis is something that everybody does. So when they play a point, okay, before they play a point or when they go to practice, I always go and move my hand. I noticed I did it as well. So I'm moving my hand, but it's not really part of the whole stroke, right? You want to be able to train the whole thing systematically so that you get the results you want. And because every time you're doing something, you're forming a habit. Cool? We all know that you're going to do, if you're doing a bad habit, you need to do a lot more of the good habit to correct that bad habit. So it's so important to go ahead and boom, do the right habit from the first time. Okay, so shadow tennis movement training. We call it movement because you actually have to do a movement. The whole thing, the whole system. Okay, so we've been happy to get the TM on it, the trademark on it, and we'll show you a bit of it. Okay, cool. And here it is. Cool. And of course, this is the old sample. The new one will be out, and it's half the size, so that players can carry it on the court. As far as thickness, thickness is the same. There's a lot of content in there. So we've got. I'll see if I can show you. Okay, show you guys. Am I on the right? Okay, so I'm flicking it from the wrong way, but here. So you begin by the intro with the grip section, with the research section, the justification for why I'm writing it like this. Okay, it takes you through the stages. See the ball, the spin of the ball is so important. Okay, stages, why you're doing what, and then we go to the. See, there's a lot of visual content in there. Okay, a lot of visual content. Okay. Okay, cool. So, but most importantly, for the first 100 orders, you get a flip book. Yeah. So what's the flip book? Yeah, that's like genius. Yeah. And it was not my idea. Okay. Idea was from one of our Vienna members, Ellen. She's amazing. Okay. Shout out to Ellen right now if you're watching. It's quite early on the Saturday morning. So why the idea of a flip book? And so book doesn't move. Cool? But as a first gesture of thanks to all our friends that 100 orders, our flip book moves. Okay? And if you do it from the other side, it's a different view. Okay? So there's the gift for all our friends that have placed the order, especially the guys yesterday. Some of them wanted two, so I'm going to make two for them. So thank you, and be sure to order it and you get your gift. Okay? And we've been very proud of that. So anyway, we'll share a bit more. Now, we have testimonials from a lot of world renowned coaches, players, athletes. they've been very nice to give us their time. I'll be posting the testimonials to show everybody because it's really good. I'll be very honored to have that. We will share with you guys who they are, and one special shout out to former world number 39 ATP Marinko. Thank you for your time. To have his testimonial is a blessing. Right? Number 39 in the world ATP is like ultra respect. Okay, so another coach that so player testimonial was Marinko. Ultra respect to Amin Bustani. Thank you. NCAA National Coach, 3-time National Coach D2 of the Year. Okay, he asked me a lot of interesting questions about the book. So, why are you doing this, Henry? Why are you doing that? Oh, okay, cool. Did you add this? Thank you for all your input. And then, and also our ATPCA president, okay, Julio, okay, longtime friend, and also very. He scans the book. I can tell he scans the book because he took a while to write his testimony, and he thought about it, and I thank you for your time. And because of the time today, we'll give the testimonial to each, a thank you to each player that gave us testimonial and coach individual different live stream. Yeah. Okay, so grips, you have to know your grips, but however, we're not telling people to change your grip. I want you to keep your grip, okay? Be natural and do your grip. However, we have our recommendation. And as our recommendation, we go by a number on the grip. We don't use the names Continental, Eastern. I mean, that's fine if you want to do that. But in our way, we want to make it simple. We want to make it easy to understand from beginner to pro. This is number, boom, on the forehand, right-handed, that's it. So this is sharing, makes it simple. Because in a match, you don't want to get too complicated. For each shot, forehand, backhand, one-handed backhand, two-handed backhand, volley, forehand volley, backhand volley, serve and overhead is a little different, but return of serve. Every ground stroke, every shot, there's a front view and a side view. Visual, step-by-step progression of each shot. Okay, so again, repeat. Forehand, backhand, volleys, overhead and serve, return of serve. Step by step, side view, front view. Except for the overhead and serve. There's 3 views, front, back and side. Because it's over your head, man. It's okay, especially the serve. We found it amazingly helpful to develop the serve. Because among what I just told you, we have progressions. Okay, on the progressions, add in layer by layer. Okay, so from a beginner, they've got 4 steps. Until they get to the advanced level, they've got like more steps they got to do. So because there's more steps, we got to go slow. Cool. So the first step is know your steps, slow, segmented, and you pause. You check your steps. So for example, on the forehand, right? This is your ready position. Okay, see that my grip's here? I'm not here, elbows out. Okay, and do I need to get this low? No, I don't need to because I'm not really at the net. Okay, the ready position of the net is different from the one at the baseline. Okay, so anyways, example, so steps. Okay, for beginner, for example, because of the limitation of the room. Okay, to the advanced level, you would be going like this. Okay, that's just an example. So you will have 2 stances. Okay, the 2 stances is because if you're going this slow, you don't want to be moving, jerking around all over the place. That's good because we're testing your balance. We're developing the balance. We always believe when you go slow to have 2 feet on the ground. Okay? Again, we're not playing like this forever. It's a way to practice so that later when you get back on the court, you go fast again. We're not saying go slow forever. We're saying this is a progressive, systematic way to develop and train. Okay, of course you're not going to go like this in the match. Okay, once you get the steps, okay. Oh, by the way, there's also a recommendation for the high ball and the low ball. High ball, low ball. Also recommendation for, we call it the rising trajectory and the penetrating trajectory, because you're not going to always play defense. You're not always going to play offense. You're going to need two trajectories. So, for example, the net is here, and the ball flies over like this. Is different from a ball that flies over like this. You need to know the difference. You need to know the difference between the swings that can generate the two trajectories on the ball. One's rising, one's penetrating. Correct? You cannot hit the two the same way. And if you're hitting the two the same way, my friend, you gotta get the book. Okay? Because we'll tell you the difference. Okay? So after you know your steps, you need to practice. However, you only need to practice a little bit each day. I've tested on many of my students and players, and a little each day is better than one huge load a day. One day. Little each day. You don't have to do a lot. Just do it systematic, the right method, a little each day. It stays with you more. Okay? Then you go to the flow stage. From slow, segmented, so you know where everything is, you will make sure now you flow. You flow. So for example, on the forehand, I just demonstrated that particular forehand. That looks like that. Now on the flow stage, I know my steps now, but I'm not going to play like that. I'm going to smooth it out. I will now look like this. Okay, so that's, you flow. You make sure you connect the dots together. So that would help you understand your swing without the ball, but going slower. I think that's very important because you don't want to go from segmented to fast. You've skipped a step, right? You connect the dots first, then you go fast, which you're going to go fast anyway when you go back on the court. I don't need to tell you, I go like that. It's just like snap the fingers, you go fast. But to slow you down, it's not easy. We found that a lot of players cannot differentiate the parts of their body. We call that the kinetic chain, and it all starts from the ground. And how many players you know use their legs to play tennis? A lot sometimes don't use their legs. Okay, so you got to turn that on. And how you turn it on? You don't turn it on by going fast. You don't start the car by going fast. You start the car by going slow first. Okay. So the next stage, breathing. Okay, all right. You gotta breathe. So that's the third stage. Once you establish some technique in the player, you will now ask them to breathe. Cool. And the sound should be a smooth sound. I'm just using a forehand as an example right now, and you should be able to hear it. You should be able to hear the inhale when you're loading, and as you unload and you go towards hitting the ball, you should hear exhale. So it's it's a smooth shot. It shouldn't be. I mean, I got a friend. I see them very often, very frequently, but the ball doesn't go very fast. So I feel very sorry for them because they're using a lot of effort, but the ball doesn't go. So tennis, you have smooth strokes like Mr. Federer. Okay, respect for Federer there, right? Okay, so breathing is the first stage. Now the fourth stage is probably the most powerful part you got to do. Once you've established the flow, the breathing, now what happens is you got to visualize the ball. Now, how many times you've seen players, they hit the ball, but they don't think about what they're doing? Professional players see the ball that they're going to hit before they actually hit it. They know what they're doing before they hit it, right? You have to know what you're doing, right? So the thing is, you got to practice visualization every time you do it. before you hit the ball. You cannot be thinking the same way for different shots, because the ball's different. Okay, so for example, if I want to hit a rising looper to the backhand, okay, for all my tennis friends out there, my shot will not look like that. My swing will not look like that if I want to hit a rising looper. Cool? I've got to think about it, have it once happen in my head first. It doesn't take 5 seconds, it just takes 2 or 3, right? It's really quick. And then, see, my hand got higher because I thought about it. My hand got automatically higher. So the visualization actually helps the athlete once they've established the slow and flow part of the technique. It makes sense. If you do it, don't say it's yeah. If you actually try and go through it, it actually helps. Okay? It takes time, but not a lot of time. So visualization, what do we visualize? There's so much things, it's part of mental tennis. There's a lot of things you can do for visualization, but we will stop at the ball. Okay? Just to share with you, I don't want to tell you everything because the book is there, right? So 5 parts of the ball, of the flight of the ball. There's 5 parts. Okay? I'm going to share with you the most important part is, now I'll just tell you it all. I'll just tell you, okay? Because there's no point holding it back, okay? First, when you hit it, the first thing you're going to visualize is the spin. That's the first initial touch, right? Okay? You visualize the spin. So I can tell my player, hey, the ball's going to be rolling from 6 to 12. It's a topspin. And the contact point from low, from underneath the ball, get under. So if they get under and they visualize, they're not going to do that. There's so many players that tell them, that the coaches and players don't cover the top of the ball. I still have cover the top of the ball people. Okay, so you got to make sure you go up on the ball. Cool? Maybe you go into and up later. But please don't cover the top of the ball. Okay? So by telling them to start really low and brush upwards, visualize first, it solves a lot of problems. Oh, then they know, okay. So also another thing is, try to take a moment. Take a moment, okay? If I tell you now to smash the ball outside the court, tennis court, out of the court, over the fence, envision it first, and then you go do it, I don't think anybody would do this. Right? So you don't always have to tell them how to do something. They know how to do something. They might do it in their own little way, but they'll get the ball up. So what I'm trying to say is, you tell them what to do, they'll do it, they'll get it done with their own technique, which is established here. Okay? There might be some variations, because no one's exactly the same, not everyone's exactly the same. So we establish the technique here, now we tell them their objective here, and they must visualize. Okay? Spin on the ball. Once it leaves the racket, it could be rising or penetrating. Okay? So if they're visualizing a penetrating ball, then they better be executing the ground stroke blueprint for the penetrating ball, which is established here. They've already learned it here. This is the 4th stage. Visualization is the 4th stage. The height over the net, you can aim lower or higher. The bounce, the landing of the ball on the court, okay, to your liking. You've got to see it in your head first, okay, and then the type of bounce. So if I'm trying to do a slice, I'm not going to visualize a ball that's going above the guy's shoulder. It just doesn't make sense, okay? So visualize the ball skimming through, and then your slice, your hand will all be the technique will more correspond to the shot that you visualize that you're going to hit. And that takes practice. Visualization takes practice, okay? And visualization has worked for many world athletes in terms of them visualizing winning their championship, or they're going on the court, how they're going to play, how they're going to beat their opponent, what strategy you're going to use. And it's not just for tennis. Okay, don't underestimate this part. Okay, this is one of the most important parts of every sport. Not even just sport, I mean just life in general. Okay, like for example, you go to a place, I'm going to go to a place, okay? I'm not going there yet, but I'm going to visualize how I'm going to get there, I'm going to plan my route, right? same idea. If you don't see it happening in your head, it's not going to work. Okay, trust me, I went through the pain before, so I don't want you guys to go through the pain. So, okay, references. There's been I couldn't carry it here today. Sorry. Okay, too much books. Okay, so that you guys don't have to waste your time reading. Okay, I read it all for you, and it's all in here. We'll be posting that to share with everybody. Okay, a lot of great people have written a lot of great books. Okay, I go and read them. Okay, and we give credit to them. We give credit to whoever wrote the idea. One of the greatest ideas is this. Okay, let's take a moment. Take a moment. We've got a black room right now. Okay, imagine. Okay, I turn on two lights. Okay, two lights. You can see it straight away. Imagine you have different situations. You got 100 lights. Okay, different situation now. The room has 100 lights already. You turn on two. You don't really notice those two lights. Okay, so the first one, complete darkness. Turn on two lights. I see it. The other room has 100. I turn on two. I might notice, but I don't notice it as quick. So what do these two examples? What is this trying to tell you? These lights are the messages that you're sending to your body during an exercise, right? If I'm sending so much messages, I don't really notice that detail of each light or message in this situation, right? However, if you slow things down, if I slow things down, I know exactly where everything is. Okay? As you train that way, you'll get to know more about yourself as a player, no matter what level you are. As a beginner, really helps if you're a beginner, right? But you won't be a beginner for very long because you're actually knowing what's going on. Okay? 2 world-class athletes that can sometimes seek a solution to take a step back. Okay? Regress before you progress. Like everything in life, right? You sometimes have to step back and take a look at it first, before you can go further. If you're playing at a standard, okay, all my friends, right? Everybody's watching here is my friend. If you're not improving to how you're liking, that means you're probably doing what you've been doing, right? Maybe try something else. If it doesn't work, then hey, it doesn't work. But make sure you follow it fully first before we criticize something, yeah? I don't criticize anything that's been told to me first. I try it first, okay? Because if I criticize before I try, the only one I'm fooling is myself. And I want to improve, okay? I really want to improve because every day, that's what gives you meaning, okay? Then that will leave it at there, okay? Every day gives you meaning, or else why are you here, okay? You know what I mean? Okay, so research and tested, a lot of research I've read, and we've made sure that the steps, if you follow, for ground strokes, volleys, slides ground strokes as well, right? Overheads and serves, returns, okay? You follow them, that will give you a great grounding to the work that you want to do when you're playing the ball game, okay? So I think I'm gonna give a little rest time here. Martin, is there any questions that anybody asked? No one asked questions, that's great because then we can go on. So 100, or first 100, okay? Orders will get a nice gift for you guys, okay? Nice gift for you guys, okay? And this is one of the, it's actually a learning tool for you. So STM, we hope to help everybody, and we've been very happy on it that it's been welcomed. We hopefully to release it in person with more friends around the world, because what happens is once we actually guide you through it in person, it helps. However, if we don't see you in person, you can feel free to visit the Facebook page. A lot of material, some samples are there already, and you can try that. They're in form of a video, okay, the steps. Go ahead and follow them, okay, and follow them systematically. However, you need the manual to help you get through, okay? So thank you for everybody's time, and feel free to message me and how we can help you, not only through STM, but in other ways of tennis as well. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing you guys at the book release in your region very soon. Thank you.